Alright guys, so it's not looking too good right now for Modern Warfare. A couple of weeks ago when the game was first announced and revealed, we had a bunch of different articles from a variety of journalists pretty much saying that this game was too disturbing to be published. A bunch of the scenes need to be removed, the game needs to be censored, and if it's not going to be censored, it needs to be outright banned because the scenes are too graphic, there's too much violence, and whatever these guys said, obviously, this is what they saw within those early campaign missions. A bunch of the journalists went out to the Infinity Ward and Activision event. They saw this stuff, and that's what they described. The YouTubers, however, most of them liked it, enjoyed it. They saw it as a really cool, new, realistic campaign. And the fans, although we have not seen the campaign, we have heard what it's like, and we want this. We want a realistic Call of Duty. But now it looks like the hate got to them, or the hate pretty much just from the journalists, and the pressure from the journalists got to Infinity Ward or got to Activision, and then Activision told Infinity Ward that you guys cannot put parts of this campaign within this game. So now we're getting our first reports that they're officially censoring this campaign and they're completely getting rid of certain parts of this campaign. Now, that is just such a sad thing. We're going to go through the details and the specifics of what exactly is going on here. And these are some of the missions that they're cutting, some of the parts of the missions at least. People just saw, like, they're actually cutting certain parts of the missions that they just saw, that was just revealed to YouTubers and influencers a couple of weeks ago at their early event. So insane that we're actually talking about this. I thought this would all blow over. I thought the journalists would, hate on this, and then, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. But obviously, already they're censoring this game. So it sucks, but let's just go through what's going on here. If you can leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. And comment below in your support of Modern Warfare. Explain to everyone watching this video, if anyone's watching this video that is in disagreement with this, just comment below why do you think this game should be censored? And if you don't think it should be censored like I do not think this game should be censored at all. Talk about it and express your opinions below, because it's a very issue right now for the Call of Duty community, because them censoring a campaign is a huge deal to us, and it'll definitely ruin the vibe and ruin the actual quality of this campaign if they censor and ban too much of this campaign. So let's go through specifically what's going on here. Infinity Ward already changing Modern Warfare campaign because it's so disturbing. So a handful of YouTubers and the press also saw some of this content early. Some of what they saw won't make the final cut, so disturbing that it will be removed before release. A report from Kotaku already confirms that at least one of the lines of dialogue will be left on the cutting room floor, with the creative team still trying to work out just how much discomfort they want to include in their game. So this is a huge deal. Now, them taking out one of the lines of the game isn't that big of a deal, but that's not all they're doing. And obviously, that still is annoying. I don't want them taking any part of the game. I want them to go in, make a good campaign, and not have to censor themselves, not have other people saying you cannot make this campaign the way you want to make it. It's just gonna, turn out to be a less quality campaign than we would have gotten if the stuff was in the game. So here's some more information on this. Infinity Ward is still deciding how disturbing they want to make Modern Warfare's campaign. So Activision PR told Kotaku behind closed door sessions that Infinity Ward is removing the line from the game, as we said, and the specific line was reportedly meant to foreshadow a scene that was coming up later on in the campaign, but that scene has also been removed from the game. So now that right there is a huge deal. It's one thing to take out a quote from the game that's foreshadowing something else, and maybe the quote just wasn't necessary, not that important to the game, but now that quote in which they're foreshadowing a future mission, that future mission was also taken out of the game because of these same issues. That is such a big deal. To take out a whole mission of the game, that's a huge blow to the campaign, and that mission may have been a vital mission to the campaign, may have been a really intense, cool, sick mission that would have played a huge part into shaping the campaign, making it enjoyable, making it realistic, making it, make you feel something, because a part of why they're making this campaign, and they've said in so many of their E3 panels and their revealed discussions, they want you to have some sort of feeling and have some sort of empathy for the characters and the civilians, and just, feel something when you're playing this campaign. So realistic that you truly understand how important it is to make accurate and correct decisions in war, and how costly war could be on human lives. And that's the whole point of the campaign, to make this really cool, realistic, and shocking campaign that's, true to real life. And the fact that they're taking a whole mission out of the game because of a bunch of journalists that don't like the fact that it's violent. It's such an infuriating thing now, because like I said before, in my other videos where I was talking about this, I wasn't that angry because I wasn't so sure they were actually going to follow through with this. And there's movies where horrific stuff happens and you're killing people and you're seeing all this insane stuff. I mean, GTA I feel like is the worst one. There are other games like GTA where you do that violent stuff, but you didn't see an outcry from that. And maybe when GTA 5 especially was released, there were some journalists and some articles posting stuff, but you never really saw anything actually happen with the game. And maybe the publisher and the developer, Rockstar Games, they just didn't care. They're just like, oh, you know what, we're just going to make our game. It's M-rated, mature, and that's just the way it is. And that's that. And this time around, these journalists obviously had an issue with the campaign, but Infinity Ward and Activision, they could have just not listened to them. I mean, they could have just been like, okay, that's great, you guys have your opinion, but we're not censoring and getting rid of part of our campaign just because you guys think it's too violent. And to me, it really didn't seem like there was that much pressure coming from the journalists to actually make Infinity Ward and Activision change parts of their campaign. They could have probably gotten away with keeping almost everything in the game if they just sort of ignored the journalists, because the more you talk about it and the more you sort of listen to them, the more it's going to affect you. Maybe again if it got to the government, because I still think regardless of what these journalists are saying, if you're in these different countries, certain parts of Europe, New Zealand, maybe China, different Asian countries, parts of this campaign is going to be censored, no matter what. I think at this point we just have to accept the fact that these countries where censorship laws are more strict than the US and different parts of the world where they don't like violence at all, there's no way a ton of this campaign is going to be in those countries anyway. But now that the journalists are saying this, they're just censoring it anyway. They're just getting rid of the parts of the campaign anyway, and they're doing it before they even need to, which is just so ridiculous because there's no reason to do that. It's just, and it sucks because it seems like finally Infinity Ward had some good intentions. I mean, the past two reveals from them, COD Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, and then the games overall didn't work out well. I think Ghost is a pretty fun Call of Duty, but for the most part, it wasn't that good, and for the most part, the reception was terrible. Infinite Warfare, I hated that game. Some people liked it, but again, for the most part, the reception was terrible, and the game for the year it was out was also just not good. The community was dead, and that's just the facts. In Modern Warfare, they finally come in with this new realistic campaign, a bunch of things. They're just changing, trying to win fans back, really, and make a good game. And now a bunch of journalists said some stuff, and like I said again, if it was just a quote, it would be not that big of a deal, but a whole mission, it just hurts, honestly. It really does, because they're finally making a good Call of Duty, it seems like, and they're ruining it. Oh man, it's just insane to think about. Now, let's just go through the best case scenario here. Maybe they, walk back their decision. I do think that at this point, we're probably not going to see that mission they cut. Hopefully, they just stop here. That's just my one hope. They just think, okay, let's not completely get rid of the actual realistic aspects of this game that we intended to make. Hopefully, they just cut that insane mission, which probably would have been so cool, realistic, and emotional, and when I don't know, maybe there'll be some hidden vault. We'll be able to play that mission sometime in the future. Maybe they'll release it as a separate copy or some DLC, and they'll release it outside of the launch. They'll launch the game, and they'll do sort of like the uncensored version where you have all of these crazy missions that they were developing that they didn't want to put out on launch. That'd be really cool, but cutting different parts of the campaign, banning these missions, getting rid of this stuff, just such a terrible thing, man. It sucks. And I'm not saying this game is going to be bad. I don't think it's going to completely ruin the game. The multiplayer still could be fun. The campaign still could be a solid campaign, but they set out to make a realistic, good, campaign that's finally something that we've been waiting for a long time, a campaign that means something, and they're just messing it up. They're messing it up. They're messing with the hype. They're messing with everything, listening to these journalists, and it's just, I don't know, it's just so ridiculous. So again, leave a comment below, campaign, if you watched the whole video. It's greatly appreciated. This is just, it's one of these things where it's just, I can't believe it. It's, you almost thought, like when this game was first revealed, it honestly did seem a little too good to be true. I never thought Activision would even greenlight a campaign this graphic. I thought it would just get cheesier, more like Fortnite, more just, family friendly, user friendly. I thought it was going to go in that direction. And when I heard they were making a realistic campaign that's violent and graphic, I was already in shock. So it honestly did seem too good to be true, and I guess that's the case. So like I said again, hopefully they just stop here and that's it. So thank you guys for watching. We'll hope for the best, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.